Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to Car Question, another car, another week, and we're gonna talk about the brand new Hyundai Kona. I did prepare some joke in French with the word Kona, but right now they're not working in English, so I will say Kona Chihuahua. If you have a better one, comment section down there below. Anyway, let's get back to serious thing. There is more than a dozen choice in that popular segment right now of vehicle. And believe me, you need to test them all. Buick Encore, Chevrolet Trax, Fiat 500X, Ford EcoSport, Honda HR-V, Jeep Renegade, Kia Soul, Mazda CX-3, Mitsubishi Outlander Sport or RVR in Canada, Nissan Kicks, Nissan Rogue Sport or QUASQUAI in Canada, Subaru Crosstrek and Toyota CHR. Yep. That's a lot of choice. So what are you gonna do? Well, let's talk about the Kona first. When you look at the exterior, the design is really interesting. This is really unique. Hyundai did an amazing job. But when you look at it, it's looking a little bit like the Jeep Cherokee. Yep, the previous version though. But the styling is what buyers want, something unique, something that gives you that sporty feeling, something that make some head turn with amazing color. You know, the little plastic on the fenders, that means adventure. It's an exercise of styling that Hyundai has succeeded when you look at the Kona. Although be careful, it's kind of small, much smaller than the competition. Inside, well, if you're gonna sit in the front, the space is okay. But when you look inside, there's a lot of plastic. Yep. Will it make some noise in a few years from now? Only time will tell. Otherwise, the space in the rear is kind of restrained. If you have a big family, that vehicle is not for you, even if it's affordable. Let's talk about the engine. This is an amazing engine, 1.6 liter turbo. It's going to be able to give you 175 horsepower, 195 pound-feet of torque. And you really have to get to nominal temperature before you fully boost with the turbo. And believe me, if you're in a hurry to leave someplace somewhere, well, wait 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then you will have full power with the car. And by the way, when you look at the horsepower in this segment, this is one of the most powerful that you can get. So this makes the Kona really interesting. And by the way, you won't empty your wallet at the gas pump because you can fill up the tank with regular fuel. Another really unique thing is the transmission. Some use CVT, other automatic transmission, but Hyundai went for that double clutch EcoShift 7-speed. Usually you put those kind of transmission in race car, in Evo, in rally car. Those are really quick and can be ready to shift the gear as soon as you press on the paddle. But right now, mated to that engine in traffic and in parking condition, well, it's vibration time. And if you drive like your grandfather, you know, like, you will feel the car shaking. You will feel those clutch working. And what will happen over time? Only your mechanic will tell. There's another engine choice, the 2.0 liter, but guess what? More power is more fun for me. It could be okay, but fuel consumption is gonna be a little bit higher with that one. And you get a regular transmission rather than this double clutch. All-wheel drive is optional. You have a button inside that you can press and lock the center differential, and it's going to be a 50-50 power repartition. But guess what? It won't go side to side. So do you want to place a bet on our diagonal test? Will it pass or will it fail? The comment is down there below. Be sure to answer that. When you're going to be just coasting on the highway, power is going to be sent to the front wheel. If you're going to accelerate, it's going to be 70-30. And if you want to press on the button and lock, remember that over 40 kilometers per hour, it will simply resume back to normal operation. Let's talk about the road handling. First of all, you've got a drive mode button that you can select. You can go from normal to eco to sport. It's not going to change a lot, but mainly the reaction of the accelerator, how quick the transmission will shift gear, and also a little bit of a heavier steering, but really it doesn't communicate much with the road. Acceleration are strong for a little vehicle like this with such a powerful engine. It's one of the quickest of the segment out there. The transmission, well, I already mentioned it. If you're going to be stuck into traffic, it's not the proper one. It will create some vibration. But where it's going to be quick is when you see a curve ahead, put it into manual mode, and you can switch the gear really quickly. Performance driving is what that transmission like. The direction is kind of linear but doesn't really communicate the roads. And the suspension is kind of amazing. It can hold on to the road. Remember, Hyundai is proud of its chassis, you know, the rigidity of it. They're using their own steel that they built, and you've got a lot of adhesive to make this chassis really rigid. General comfort in the front is not too bad, but in the rear, it's not really awesome. Let's talk about fuel consumption. With the 1.6 liter that we have in city mode, it's going to do around 9. When you're going to be on the highway, 8, and it's going to be 8.6 liter per 100 if you combine those numbers. But where it's kind of surprising, if you go for the all-wheel drive version with the 2.0 liter, guess what? It's going to consume more fuel. I'm kind of impressed with that. But if you go with the front-wheel drive version, you're going to be okay if fuel efficiency is important for you. So let's talk about the minus points. Well, the famous transmission, I told you about that jerky movement that you get when you're doing your parking maneuvers, and you're gonna see by yourself when you switch from drive to reverse the time that sometimes the transmission take to react. Plastic everywhere, I'm not a fan of it, and the sound inside the cabin would have been a lot better if they used different compound that absorb the sound. The sound of the road, mainly due to the tire, and be careful with those Goodyear. Over time, they tend to lose their performance, and if you don't believe me, try them when they're new on wet surface and try them when they're worn on wet surface. Yep, we did a video about that. Go check that out. You're gonna be amazed on the big difference that it's gonna make into braking situation. You've got also the space in the rear, which is kind of restrained. So look at my driving position. Look at the space that you have for your legs in the seat. It's not one of the most comfortable in the back. The plus side though, the vehicle is greatly equipped even with the standard version. The 1.6 liter is kind of powerful, and $22,000 for a 2.0 all-wheel drive, it's kind of affordable. I kind of like that during the winter here. You know, they are so tough, so all-wheel drive is a must. Final point, great road handling in general. So the future of the Kona is going to be electric. Hyundai told us 400 kilometers of pure EV range. Do you believe that? Comment section is down there below. Do a thumbs up because you like that video, and subscribe to Car Question because we will have more for you. Acceleration test and diagonal test is coming soon. Take care.